Today I'm with the 4230 and we're getting a bit of an upgrade. I'm going to be putting in a new radio. These things are pretty straightforward. The aftermarket's got it covered pretty well and it's pretty much all just plug and play. So let's hop up in there and get our old stuff yanked out so we can get our new stuff put in. So having a radio in the tractor is pretty important for me because I've been falling asleep in them since I was 2 years old, which isn't really okay anymore because now I get all swervy rows when I do that. But the radio helps keep me awake and keeps my rows nice and straight. So sitting in the tractor, that's our old radio. It's just held on by these 6 little Phillips head screws. So I'm just going to take those, unscrew them, and that entire thing should just drop down. So with it dropped down, we just got a big hole in the ceiling and a big jumble of wires. So hopefully your radio is not too kabobbled together. You can see right here I've got some wire tape going on. That should be fun to try and figure out what goes where. But if you have an original radio, which this one is not, you shouldn't be having too much of an issue. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug all of my stuff and we'll start fresh. So since this is such a wire spliced mess, I'm assuming this is our constant power and this black one would be our ground. But this big one is at our antenna too, so we don't need that. But I'm assuming this wire harness here is the one that goes back to our speakers. So I think I'm going to take the speakers off and we'll see what wires go back there and then try and splice things up to go where we need them. I've also got 2 new speakers, one for each side. Those are 4 Phillips head screws and I'll take and pop those off too. Hopefully you can see that okay, but apparently wire nuts were in short supply for the last guy who did this. I decided to go with parts from Shoop online. They seem to have the best price, and this radio had a speaker in the front of it too, so you can get surround sound. Pretty much all of your aftermarket radios come with this plastic bezel that fits in the roof of the tractor, and you can get them in 2 styles, one where they've got the speaker up here and other ones they just don't. They'd fit in the same hole. They all line up into the same things, just a little different. Now luckily these new speakers are also plug and play, so they've got the little connector that we need for back here, which is these things. I just have to figure out a way to get those new speakers into this plastic face part. Yeah, you can see these old ones are kind of crispy. No wonder they didn't sound good. Alright, I'm back with updates. So on the wiring, I done some thinking about it and I just chopped all that other stuff out. And we're going to take and plug these 3 wires accordingly into the wire harness on our new radio. This is our power input. And then for back here, I didn't install the speakers yet, but I'm going to get that done. So if we can see, it's kind of hard to see the colors, but one of these is white. There you go. That one's white. And this one is pink. And then both of them have a brown wire, which means brown would be negative. Pink is for our left side. White is for the right. That gives us our stereo. And that comes up here accordingly with pink and white and our brown for the negative. So this runs our speakers. And then we've also got a ground and antenna. So I think what I'm going to do is get everything wired up and hooked up, get the speakers in, and then we can give her a whirl. So in the Sound-Gard bodies, it's helpful to take the steering wheel and tip it all the way up. You get a nice little table. But we're all pretty much hooked up now except for the ground wire here. It's a little too short sitting on the steering wheel. But if you've never made a wire harness on your own, these are just spade terminals that I crimped on there and they go right into the little terminal blocks. And same thing for the male ends. This would be the male side connector on the radio, and I just take a female spade and pop it right in there. The only thing is it doesn't lock. Not really a problem here though, because nobody should be pulling on our wires. What I'm going to do is I'll just take and hold it up there and put the ground together, and we should turn the key on and it should power on. Alrighty. So the trick here is get the ground hooked up. There we go. All right. Now if everything goes good. Oh, there we go. Okay. And 102 is not a channel here. We got sound. All right, enough of that. So what I can do, I'll just take and get this pushed up into there, and that's that. Now to finish off the install, we gotta set the clock. So it is currently 6:05. Alrighty, and we are done. So that pretty much wraps up this video. It's pretty simple today. I hope you found this a little bit helpful, and see you next time.